podcast family. I hope you all are having an amazing, beautiful week so far. I'm back again with another podcast episode for you all without a guest this week again because I've just been super busy and didn't have anyone in the schedule. But that's okay. I've learned to accept that life isn't always sunshine and roses, is it, as they say? Rainbows, sunshine and rainbows. I don't even know what it is. I forgot. But you get the point. Life isn't always rainbows and sunshine, I think, whatever that saying is. Like life isn't always perfect, okay? Life isn't always going to go the way you plan it. Things happen. And, especially when you are a podcast host and you're running a podcast every single week, it is actually not easy to find, ambitious, uh, positive people in the world to bring onto your podcast to share their life lessons. Because with my podcast, as you all know, you're listening in because you want to learn from other people's stories, their journeys, their history, their life lessons. And I made it super simple and straight to the point for you all, that I wanted my guests to bring the most value and the most inspiration to you so you can go and implement these things into your life. Because the biggest thing that I've learned in my last 6 years of personal growth and my journey in business is that people connect with people. Simple as that. We connect with other people. It's literally, that is why, as human nature, when we connect with people offline, is way, way more deeper and more interesting, and the energy that we feel is way more real. It's just so real. And I've always been a massive fan of meeting people offline. As much as I love the online world, and as much as I love running an online business now in coaching, I also love the whole offline aspect of meeting new people, making new friends, touching people's lives, and having that actual hug. And at the time that you're probably listening or watching this podcast, we are still in this pandemic in the world where we are not able to hug our friends and family how we used to back in the days. We are not able to do certain things that we used to love doing, like having events and meeting all of our friends, or going to weddings, and just doing things that were normal, which are now abnormal. And I'm sure you agree that we have learned to adapt, adjust, and accommodate to how life is right now. And so, just a reminder at the beginning of this episode that you still got to be grateful for your life. You still got to be grateful for what you have. You have so much more than people out there. You have so much more than other people in the world who are having challenges and obstacles and losing their jobs, don't have a job, don't have a business, don't have money, don't have clothes, don't have food to eat, don't have water to drink. You have to think deeper, and you have to sometimes just introspect. Sometimes you got to reflect on your life and understand that you are enough. You have enough. You are enough. You have enough. And whatever you're going to have and get and consume from today onwards is enough. Just understand that whatever you have, be grateful, be thankful that you're blessed, that you have things that other people in the world don't. You were probably born in a country that other people would love to have been born. You probably have clothes that other people look up to you because you have this branded clothes that you wear and they want that. You probably have a nice car and other people look up to you because you have a nice car and they want that in their life. You probably have a nice house and other people are jealous of that because they want a nice house like you. You probably have a nice phone and other people don't have a nice phone. Like sometimes what I've realized is the older I get, the more deeper I start thinking. Not overthinking. There's a difference in deep thinking and overthinking. Because in overthinking, you're overanalyzing and overthinking things that doesn't really matter. Like things that are very small, but you make up these false stories in your mind to make them to be huge and big and just nonsense, which is not true. It's all false. It's just kind of stories we make up in the head and then we lay it out, and it seems like they're real, but they're not. It's just absolutely not real. It's something you've made up in your mind. And so deep thinking, on the other hand, is introspection, it's reflection, it's looking at your life and thinking back and even looking into your past and being like, wow, if I never done this, or if I never went through this, I wouldn't be like this. If I never had this challenge, I wouldn't be resilient today. If I never acknowledged that I used to be shy, then how can I become so confident like how I am today? If I didn't acknowledge that I had negative people around me, how can I change that and start adding positive people around me? Because as you know, we become the 5 people that we hang around. It doesn't have to be 5. They say that in the quotes and they say that out there. It can be just, we become the people that we surround ourselves with. It could be 2, 1, 3, 5, 8, 10. So where am I going with this? I'm going into the space, and I want to share with you a little bit about mental health today, because as this week, I know there's always a certain day where everything's become a special day for everything now, which I find a little bit crazy these days, and sometimes annoys me. Why there's a Mother's Day and a Father's Day and a Sister's Day and a baby born day, and just all of these days. But obviously, this week on Saturday, the what was the date? On Saturday, the 10th of October 2020, it was World Mental Health Day. And mental health is something that's close to my heart, not because I've personally faced things, but honestly, I'm an empath. For those of you guys who are listening for the first time or watching this video on YouTube, I'm an empath, which means I genuinely feel people. I can actually feel your energy. I can feel what you've been through, but I can never ever experience it, or not experience it. I can never really understand. I can never really understand what you've been through, but I feel it. I feel when you talk to me and we're having a conversation, especially as a coach, right? Like I'm always having conversations with my clients or with people that I coach on a daily basis through social media, for example. Like I feel when they say that they have these struggles and these challenges and their parents and their friends and the pressure and the social media and just things that they go through that they're challenging with mentally, physically, just every direction in their life is not going in the right way, and so they fall into anxiety, depression, start having deep, really bad negative mental health issues and challenges and problems. And so I really wanted to speak about this topic this week on my podcast, since I never had a guest, and I just want to share with you a little bit of the things that I think that may help some of you out there to start controlling those thoughts, start to think a bit deeper in terms of introspecting and reflecting on your life, start thinking about things that you can be grateful for rather than things that you don't have right now or things that you're struggling with right now. And so I'm just going to start off, because I have my phone here, and I'm going to start off by just sharing something from the World Health Organization that I found. And it's literally like they're facts, and they're 10 things around mental health that I just want to make you aware, because this is all about making you aware of mental health. So the first thing they wrote on here is around, it's mental, neurological, and substance use disorders make up 10% of the global burden of disease and 30% of non-fatal disease burden, which basically means around, if you add those 10, the 30 and the 10, 40% of the world population have some kind of a mental health disorder, or some kind of challenge or issue around mental health. And to be honest with you, most of those people don't talk to other people. Like they don't talk about it. It's all internally, it's all inside their head and in their heart and in their soul, and they struggle because they're in such a bad moment, a bad journey in their life, that they can't talk to people, even the people that they love and trust. They find it difficult to open up. So that's the first thing that's here. The second thing they share is around 1 in 5 of the world's children and adolescents have a mental disorder. 1 in 5. That's not even, it might sound small, but that's actually huge. So it's like out of every 5 people that one of them has a mental health disorder. Imagine that. You have 5 friends. I'm sure loads of you have many, many friends, especially on social media. And every 5 of them, one of them actually are going through something really tough and hard in their life that they need guidance and support and help in. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. Depression is one of the leading causes of disability, affecting 264 million people. 264 million people. Craziness. That's a lot of people who are struggling with that and don't have anywhere to go and don't have help. It's crazy. It's actually fascinating when you actually start looking into this. The fourth thing is about half of mental health disorders begin before the age of 14. And this is where the word trauma comes from, because a lot of people actually have trauma from their past, from their childhood, from either their parents, their parenthood, siblings, and possibly friends. But it always starts in young off in your age, and as we get older in our 20s and 30s and 40s, it starts clicking, and that's when it starts affecting you. You can't do certain things because of your childhood and things that have affected you. Crazy again. The fifth one is almost 800,000 people die by suicide every year. 800,000 people die. One person dies from suicide every 40 seconds. Suicide is the second leading cause of death in individuals aged 15 to 29 years old. Now that is just ridiculous. That's basically the whole of the millennial generation, 15 to 29 years old. Guess what generation that comes under? You guessed it, millennials, my generation, the generation of the youngsters today. Like, well, not not anyone under 15, but anyone over 15, 16 to the age of 30, 32, 35, 37 even. That generation are the ones who are going through this because we have it hard. Like, we don't have it that easy, right? We live in expensive countries, and it's so hard to afford things these days, especially if you live in a country like London or the US or Canada or places that is just expensive to just live. The cost of living has gone up, and it keeps going up. And the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, they say. And the middle class doesn't even exist anymore. It's literally just rich and poor, and you choose where you want to be. And sometimes you don't get to choose where you want to be. You just end up being poor, and you start off being poor. But that can change the way your mind, when your mindset changes, that can also change. You have the rich who possibly also either got it on given to them on a silver spoon and on the plate, or there's rich who have hustled and worked super hard to become successful, like my little painting over here at the back, my canvas. It shows that you have to go all through all of those things to get success. Some people have made it through all of those things and struggled through all of those things to get to the top. So it works hand in hand either way. Okay, the sixth thing is around 1 in 9 people in settings affected by conflict have a moderate or severe mental disorder. 1 in 9 people have some kind of a mental disorder. Like, people don't talk about this, and I'm just giving you these facts because this is what's happening, and some of you may not know this, but I'm just trying to make you aware, since it's the time of year where a lot of people are actually talking about this, and I'm loving it because it's getting people to open up and be vulnerable and start realizing that, hey, there's other people like me. Maybe I should be opening. Maybe I should share my story with someone. Maybe it might help me release some of that negativity, some of that pain from my soul. So important to talk to someone that you love and you trust. 7, people with severe mental disorders die 10 to 20 years earlier than the generation population. Sorry, than the general population. So 10 to 20 years earlier, people with a mental disorder will die because, like, because you can't. Like, suicide happens because you can't take it anymore, because there's no one around you that's showing you love and care and telling you that you're enough. It's not happening, especially, I would say, especially with the males. Men don't talk about it. And I encourage any man that's watching me right now on YouTube or listening to my podcast, I honestly encourage you, if you're going through some hardship, some challenges, some kind of a mental breakdown or issue or challenge or something that you're struggling with, talk to someone, message them, ask for help, reach out to organizations and ask them for guidance. Ask them. I'm telling you, there's so much free resources out there online, and there's people online that for free will actually give you time. You can actually call mental health numbers online. I'm not sure where they are. You can always Google them, but you can find them and you can call them, and there's people there for you, to talk to you, to listen to you, to understand what you're going through and give you some tips to possibly change that situation. So go and reach out to them. Number 8, rates of mental health workers vary from below 2 per 100, sorry, per 1 million, no, per 100,000 population in low income countries to over 70 per 100,000 in high income countries. So in essence, what this one is saying is the rates of mental health workers is getting higher in almost globally. So there's more people that are realizing that this is an issue, and they're actually there to help through online, through calls, through video calls, through so many ways of getting help nowadays. So honestly, I encourage you guys to go and seek that help if you're struggling with any kind of mental disorder. Number 9, less than half of the 139 countries that have mental health policies and plans report having these aligned with human rights conventions, which basically just means it's part of your human rights for you to get help for your mental health. It's becoming so serious that people are, or countries are, reinforcing and making sure that there's always going to be help and guidance for you. So you don't need to ever have a thought of suicide. You don't ever need to think about killing yourself. You don't ever need to think about it's the end of your life and you're not good enough and you don't need to exist anymore. You do need to exist. You You have time. You are enough. I'm telling you this so much, with so much love and passion. And I hope if this helps anyone, if you're watching or listening to this right now, I honestly, if I can do anything, just message me on my Instagram, and I'll reply to your DMs if you come there and actually ask me a question. And or share your struggles with me. I'll be there to reply, because that's what I do. And people that know me, they already know that I reply to the DMs if they don't just say hi Sadiq, because that doesn't mean anything to me. I get hundreds of those all the time. That's not how you reach out to someone. You reach out by either complimenting them on something that they're doing, or just saying, hey, I need some help, would you mind just sharing some tips with me around mental health, or around this, or I'm struggling with overthinking, or I have some anxiety or some depression and stuff like that. You can always just reach out and message someone like me that always will make time. Whenever I'm on Instagram and I go into the DMs, I will make time to reply to those people, because I actually care. My one response has changed so many people's life. It's unbelievable how many times have people messaged me and I just replied to them, and they're so happy that I took time to reply to them. So just remember that me and so many people in the world are there to help you, to guide you, to give you those tips, to give you, we're not going to charge you. We're just going to message you and say, hey, this is what you need to do, and don't worry, and we're going to encourage you. Maybe we don't always have time to go on a video call with you. Maybe we don't always have time to meet you in person, but just the message away from giving you some tips and sharing a fun gift with you, or like a something inspirational, may just shift something for you, may just allow you to understand that there's people out there that are willing to listen and help me. The 10th thing on the list is the global economy losses. The global economy loses about $1 trillion per year in productivity due to depression and anxiety. 1 trillion, like, can you imagine? Like, even forget about the money, just like mental health itself is such a huge, like, problem right now that many people don't talk about. And I'm so grateful that there are people that are talking about it now, and it's becoming really popular, and people are talking about it, and there are specific mental health coaches out there. There's mental health companies out there, and charities and organizations and people that genuinely want to help. So I'm not going to go too much into this, and I'm just going to just kind of add my little bit of it. I think some of the things that, from my perspective, that if you are going through some kind of mental health issues, the number one thing I'm going to share, and this is straight from the heart, this is not here, I'm going to close this because there's nothing more to say on the on from what I just shared from the World Health Organization. But the one thing that I want to share from my heart right now is, the first thing is, make sure you reach out for help, because and talk to someone. Because the thing is, a lot of people that are going through this are going through it alone, and they're going through it internally. It's an internal battle. It's in your mind, it's in your heart. You are telling yourself things that don't exist, and then you're believing them. So you're making up these amazing fake stories in your mind that you think this is the truth and this is the reality right now, but they're not. They're just not. You're ruining your life by thinking that they are. They're not. And that might sound stupid, but I'm being honest. Like, then you're just making things up. They don't exist. And this is why you need to talk to someone, so someone can actually make sense of it and say, oh, you're making that up. It's not true. Actually, I know you to be like this. I think you have the courage. I think you're brave. I think you're bold. I think you can find confidence in yourself. I think you are amazing. Why are you hating yourself because of social media? Why are you comparing yourself to other people? Why do you think that you're getting bullied when in reality you're not? You just think you are, but you're not. And other people will come to you and help you from a different perspective that you cannot see right now, because you're there. You're deep down within, like, you're stuck. And the only way to get unstuck is to talk to someone that you love, that you trust, that doesn't judge you. Those are the three things you got to realize. Someone that you love and that you trust and that doesn't judge you, and that's a good listener. You reach out to them and you ask them for help. That's the first thing you got to do. The second thing you got to do is realize that if you're following people online that are negative and that are affecting this mental health even more, unfollow them, block them, delete them, remove them straight away. Same thing with the offline friends and the family and the people that you have around you. Distance yourself away from the negative people. And I know I say this a lot in my content, but since I'm on this podcast about mental health, there's a reason why I always say that. Distance yourself from all the people who are negative or have some kind of negative energy, or are constantly trying to put you down, or hurt you, or say silly things to you. Ignore them, distance yourself. And if they're your friends, and you can, remove them completely. Just delete them from your life. Control, Alt, delete. So that's the second thing. The third thing is obviously after you've deleted those people, you start adding now positive people. You start talking to, or you start reaching out to and following positive, enlightening, uplifting, crazy entrepreneurial type of people who are online, who are posting content that you can learn from, that are inspiring you, that motivate you, even if it's temporary motivation and they're just a speaker or a coach or an entrepreneur or a business person, or they're none of that, or they're just a normal person like me who just like goes online and starts posting content, you know. Make sure you follow those types of people who have that positive energy and will encourage you through their content. Maybe they can't always give you the time, but they can always reply to your comment, or they can, reply to your DMs when they get time. And there's so many people in the world that are positive, just like myself, who are willing to do that, who are willing to help and support and add that value. So make sure you reach out and you connect and you follow positive people, more of those, whilst you kill the negative ones. Okay, so that's the third thing. The fourth thing is you got to start some kind of self-development if you haven't already. You got to start some kind of personal growth. You got to start picking up those books like Rich Dad Poor Dad and How to Win Friends and Influence People and Think and Grow Rich. They're not always about money. Believe me, guys, they're not all about money. They're all about mindset. They're all about mindset, and mindset will come under mental health. It's like one of the subcategories, because when you shift your mindset, when you have that paradigm shift, when you have that mind shift, things in your head start, they say the popcorn pops, or the light bulb moment, whatever you want to call it, that will start happening and you start shifting and things start becoming much more clearer for you in your life. You start getting rid of those negative thoughts and those stupid stories you're making, and you start replacing them with, actually, I am enough. Actually, I can be confident. I can make this happen. I can do this. I am strong. I am resilient. I am going to persevere. I am going to get through this because I am amazing. It's as simple as that. When you have the mind shift, you'll understand that. And that will only come when you start your self-development. Whether you read the books, listen to audiobooks, or watch videos on YouTube, I encourage you, one of these three things: read personal growth books or self-development, watch them on YouTube, watch videos of people who are in these topics on YouTube, like Tony Robbins and Gary Vee and David Meltzer. From the top of my head, Amberly Lago, um, what's it, Eric Thomas, Tony Robbins, of course, and like Jay Shetty, Lewis Howes. Make sure you follow these people and take their energy, take their vibe and implement it into your life. Take their energy every single day and then go and take action on in whatever they say into your life. They talk about gratitude and love and kindness and positivity, and to get that, you need to give that. And to get that, you first start with self-love. You start with self-care, self-love. You look after your mental health, you look after yourself, and everything else starts becoming clearer in your life. Okay. That's just truly from my heart, some of the things that I want to share with you that I hope that you can implement and start taking action on, because I really want to make sure that you guys understand that this is a serious matter and all of you can change. And I just want to leave you on this: you are all amazing, you are all confident, you can all become confident if you think you can't, because I know the feeling. You can all become resilient, you can all persevere through your challenges. And remember, we all go through challenges in life. You're not alone. Remember, you are not alone. We all have challenges. We all go through tough times. We all have hardships, and we all go through those obstacles. But I'm just telling you right now, you're not alone. We're all with you. We're one team. We're one family. We're one love. Okay, we all come under love. We all are one family, brothers and sisters from all around the world. We all are one people. So I hope this episode has helped you in some way. If it has, make sure you guys go and leave a comment if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you haven't, if you're not, and you listen to this on the podcast, make sure you guys go and show some love on the podcast and subscribe to it if you haven't. I love you guys. Have an amazing, powerful, and confident, positive week ahead. And I hope that you take whatever I've said seriously and take action on it. And I really encourage you to talk to someone if you're going through some kind of mental health problem or issue right now. And I wish you all the best. I pray for every single one of you every day that you guys become more, find more love, find more inner peace, find more resilience, find more confidence, to understand that you are amazing, you are loved, you are awesome just the way you are. You don't need to change for nobody. You just become better every day, become a better version of yourself every day. And that's where it will happen for you. Okay, so love you guys. Have an amazing rest of your week. I'll catch you guys next week on the next episode with another guest. Until then, take care. God bless. Have an amazing week ahead. Love you guys. Take care.